And look, can you hear the church chiming?
Oh, perfect timing.
I know, right when we start, dun, 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 right? So peeps, I'm going kind of dark and light here, but I got an awesome view in the back that Carrie was noticing. Plus, I'm kind of still wearing my bikini. So I was telling Carrie, I was down at the pool with my boys. I actually had a mountain resort space. I grabbed my boys yesterday. I just flew into Utah, came up for a couple days to play, and I'm like, how can we create letting them play at the pool and jumping in the waterfalls and do all that while I'm doing the TV show? So that was our intention. But when we realized there was no way the connection was working, we jetted our ass back up here to our hotel room. And I'm like, got kiddos in there that I'm sure are going to be a little bit noisy, so I'm doing the whole, whatever this is called, balcony thing. But you guys get this awesome, amazing view and half the bikini action going on. I tried to get Carrie to go put on her bikini. I was like, Carrie girl, let's you can play with me with this. Go get on your bikini and we'll just we'll get some awesome views going on here.
That's right.
So anyways, if you guys are new to Marci Lock TV, this is how I roll. It's all just whatever is authenticity. Marci Lock TV, Influential is the name of the game. And the reason that I created this show is because I have a passion and purpose to allow people of all amazing aspects that are influences in this world that are actually standing as creators, standing in their truth. Carrie as a goddess, men as a god, us being co-creators in this life, coming together and being able to hear how we can overcome and how we can create an amazing life. Because my belief system is now, after all the shit that I went through in my life, my belief system now is that life is awesomeness. And if you're not experiencing awesomeness, why the hell not? What's the point, right, Carrie?
Amen.
Amen. So it's shifting our beliefs. It's learning to break through those blocks so that our life actually gets to be phenomenal in every aspect. From flex with me, Carrie. I know you got guns too. Awesome. There you go. Rockin' bodies of health to phenomenal relationships to amazing finances, spiritual connection, living your passion and purpose. And this is the experience I get to have now, is living my passion and purpose in my ideal life. Because of my journey and the coaches that I've worked with and the mentors that led me to this place. And so I created Marci Lock TV and obviously my Marci Lock app so that there could be this space for anyone to learn from amazing people around the world that are inspiring others and doing the same. So today I have this awesome chica rock star on here with me. But first off, if you guys are new to this, then know that you can go to the Marci Lock app and you can get all the past TV shows, the radio shows, tons of mindset breakthrough tools. You got some awesome things from my kick-ass recipes to breaking it down in the gym to workouts, free workouts, all sorts of fun stuff. So you can get that at marcilockapp.com or on iTunes or Google Play for free. You can also go to mindbody90.com to get the free video series. Well, I really get real and raw and break through the lies that are limiting you to set you free to get breakthrough results. So with that being said, we're ready to rock today. I got this powerhouse of a chica on here with me, and she's been amazing. Like, I was in Arizona on TV. Not yesterday, it was the day before. I'm all confused. I even got an email this morning from a producer in New Mexico that was like, we're confirming you to be on TV tomorrow. I was like, oh, snap, I am not in New Mexico. I'm in Utah, dude. But I've been all over, and Carrie is like, there's been a couple times we were going to do the show, and my schedule's been crazy, so thank you, darling. She's been so flexible and great to make it work. So really, instead of me telling everyone about you, Carrie, I would love for us to jump right in and dig into this awesomeness with you letting people know. So the first question I always like to ask and lead into is, who are you? Let us know who you really are.
Who the heck are you? I love it.
Carrie?
Well, I'm reading this great book because my coach told me to read it, Daring Greatly, okay? You've all seen it, Brene Brown. And she's teaching me to be vulnerable and telling your story.
Love it.
Where the dark side shows up, and I've been to the pit and back. But to digress a little bit, I had Midwest values. Grew up in Michigan, typical pastor's kid. I come from a long line of entrepreneurs. My mom's father was a farmer. My dad's side, his dad was a grocery store owner. My dad, I just saw him last month, and he said, Carrie, I've only worked for out of the 40 years I've worked, only 8 were for someone else. And ironically, those 8 years were for his brother, who had an airline. So you see the pattern here. Everyone's kind of got their own business. So naturally, I've been drawn to making things happen with my own will, ambition, hands, hard work, whatever. It's really hard to work for somebody else. Sometimes you're just wired to do your own thing. Well, I've learned the hard way. So it's been 7 years now. I left the Midwest comfortable lifestyle, which I thought was the way everyone wanted me to live. And I had a very dark moment where I kind of found that I lost myself along the way, trying to please everybody.
Carrie, that was me. I did that too. I think 99.9% of women, especially, or the society, is perfectionist identity that does that. So, relate.
Yeah, right down to the church I thought my dad would approve of. I mean, it was pretty bad. So, overall, I think my wake-up call really was when my daughter was about 3 going on 4. I was a stay-at-home mom. I kind of lost myself and my child, as a lot of new moms do. And I couldn't find any pictures of myself on MySpace, for MySpace. This was when MySpace was big. This was like 2007. We're like, what's that? What's MySpace? So I was like, damn, I don't have one picture of myself. And I used to model. I was in a pageant at 18 years old. I'm like, where did I go? And I kind of broke down a little bit, like I lost myself. And I looked in the mirror, and I'm twice the weight I used to be. Just embarrassed to take any pictures from the neck down, and just that kind of lost feeling. And I found something. I was going through those. We all have those memory boxes. We kind of stuff in things and mementos and things. And they were from 8th grade. I had this beautiful vision board and a whole book report I had done on what I was going to do with my life. And I remember looking at the pictures and going, oh my gosh, I put myself on hold. When did I stop living my dreams? And it was just kind of like, crap. I'm 34. I stopped living for myself. I put everything on hold, started pleasing everyone. I was such an insecure introvert, and it's just so not who I am, and just kind of went on a shelf. And that moment, I don't suggest waiting until you get to that point where you snap, because I really literally snapped. Like divorce, I'm moving 2,000 miles away to Sin City, which is, as a pastor's kid, the worst thing ever.
You were like, I'm going for it. I'm rebelling.
That's right. My pendulum is over here. I'm going to swing it as far as I can to the other side.
There you go, girl.
But that's how you break free, when you just kind of feel that stuck, trapped feeling. You're like, screw this. This isn't working. I'm going to go as extreme as I can. Gosh, my poor parents were like, oh, my Lord, we've lost our daughter. She's modeling lingerie. She's out on Sin City. She's divorced and running away.
Yeah. You really pushed them over, huh?
Yeah. So I went through a shame kind of moment of, who is she? But it was just to find myself. Of course, the pendulum, thank God, swung back into the center, more balanced now. Found myself again. And when I was still married in 2005, I was trying to discover myself, and that's when I went into health coaching. I stayed up all night, got all my schooling done, that sweet spot at 2 a.m. that most moms know, then everyone is sleeping, you can actually get something done.
I laughed because that was me.
Yep, that quiet moment of the night. That's when all the creative people are still up doing stuff. But overall, that was just the start, and I just started health coaching. And then it evolved into business coaching, which I worked with a global international business coaching firm for 5 years now here in Vegas. And from there, it's evolved into, well, the health coaches want to know, how do I make my business successful? And now it's evolved into actually helping online business entrepreneurs. I only work with women. I let a few guys sneak in occasionally. But women, we're just unique individuals. We speak different. We live differently. Just a unique breed, and I really enjoy working with women. I've always saw myself leading women at some point. It's just my heart's calling, and nothing makes me more excited when a woman is on fire, finds her purpose, and is killing it and making some serious money and leaving a trail behind her. That excites me. That's what gets me up every day.
What I love about that, Carrie, is for me, to go from when I got divorced and was broken and started my journey too, and going from I became a waitress, making $2 an hour. Never been a waitress my whole life. What did I do? I did it at 28 years old with 2 kids, newly divorced, right? So broken. And to now be at 100,000 plus a month, for me to make that shift, I had to see that it was possible from other women. I remember finding out about Laura Langmeyer and how she had a private jet, and her nanny and her kids, and was making millions. I was like, it is possible, right? And now I'm like, yeah, 100,000 a month is easy. It's like air. But I wouldn't have made that shift and been doing the same life now with my kids, where I can take them anywhere and play and travel, if I hadn't seen it. So I love that you're I'm on fire with showing women. I think that is so missing, on showing women it's possible.
Right.
Not only that self-worth of like having the life they want, but that I mean, it's somehow in this conditioning from a long time we thought like, no, we need a man to survive, or I need someone else to give me permission, or it's not okay for me to step up and live my passion purpose because I got kids to take care of.
Right.
All bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So, preach.
I'm so glad you're swearing, because that's the only way I know how to talk. I forgot to ask if that was safe.
There's no filter on here because I used to. And let me share real quick. I mean, you can say the fuck bomb or whatever you want to say, girl, because this is real. I realized I used to stop myself from saying it, and I'm from Utah. I grew up in Utah, and so when I'd speak in Utah, I'd find myself like where God was like using this through me, like to trigger people and say something like, "How's that fucking story working for you?" And then I'd stop myself and I'd go, "How's that story working for you?" And I was like, wait a minute. I realized I was doing it because I was afraid of judgment, right? And then I realized, wait, it's a word. We're, as a society, decided what that word means. If someone's offended by it, that's because of their perception or association to it. But when God is telling me to use that word, and I'm stopping it, I am literally not being an authentic. I'm filtering what he's telling me to do. So I dropped that story a long time ago. Awesome. So sometimes people are like, if you could just not swear, and I'm like, well, then you could just not follow me. I mean, that's okay too, because I'm literally an open tool. So go, girl. Go.
I love it. I love it. I always say I don't trust people that don't swear, because they're holding themselves back.
They're holding it back, and that's what I did before. Yep, you go.
Yep, you're not being authentic.
That's right. Lock it down.
That's right.
So you can let them fly. It's
awesome.
Permission to you and permission to me.
Awesome, awesome. Well, just to go back a hair, it wasn't all perfect and fun and sun and roses. And yes, I snapped, 7 years ago and made a huge life change. And I found myself, and I've grown like a crazy person in the last 7 years. And of course, shrunk half the size I was then too. So it's just, it starts here with your head trash, and then the rest starts to digress out. What you look like externally just kind of tells you what's going on internally.
Oh, I get it all the time.
Exactly. It all starts in the air. Garbage in, garbage out. It's the kind of mindset. But I did, and I don't encourage people to jump into business ownership without some type of guidance. Mm-hmm. I actually, the third business I started was here in Las Vegas. Newly single mom, still that entrepreneur spirit. I can do anything I put my mind to. Nothing can stop me. I have no fear. And I jumped into a partnership with someone that was going to build a business. It was an online media company. Mm-hmm. And he'd done it before. He'd already created 3 other businesses and then sold them. So I thought, I'm in, this guy's going to teach me the ropes. We're going to kick ass. Mm-hmm. And it didn't go that way. So, unfortunately, I have no support from my ex-husband at all, which I don't till this day. I had very little savings from the divorce, and I dumped everything. I was all in with this business. And I don't want to scare anyone into business ownership, but awesome stuff can happen. This is a learning moment, and all of us have failed at least once or twice or more.
Actually, 98% will stop after 2 to 3 times. But it's that 1% that's super successful that it's like I always say Einstein. He did like the light bulb 1,000 times.
Yes.
And when people said, well, do you feel like a failure? You failed 1,000 times? He's like, I learned 1,000 ways not to do it. But
that's right.
So I laugh that you say 2 to 3 times. Like, I don't know how many fucking times I failed. There was a lot. But that's why I'm here today.
That's right. Don't go that way. That's what our message is. Don't avoid that pothole, okay? It's bad.
Just keep going.
That's right. That's right. The important part is to keep going forward, right? Well, I learned it. It was like down to, in fact, just a couple days ago was the anniversary. August 3rd, 2009. I'll never forget that date as long as I live. And last Sunday was the anniversary of that. And I couldn't figure out why my energy was kind of weird. And then I realized later it was kind of an anniversary of literally the pit, the rock bottom that I hit. And this company was going in the right direction. We had clients. I was employing people. I was wearing multiple hats, the financial advisor, I'm the recruiter, I'm the HR person, I'm the salesperson, everything to get this startup going. And our investors backed out literally at the last minute in the lobby of the bank. And that was what I literally was going to live on for the next month. I had $30 to my name when that happened. And I remember collapsing in the Las Vegas heat in August in the parking lot and just thinking, oh my God, I cannot go back to my parents. I cannot do this.
You had a good why.
Exactly. Like, I refuse to go back to a small town in Michigan where there's no opportunity. I'll never get back on my feet if I go backwards. So that determination, that will, that strong-willedness. I mean, it was a month of people helping me and literally getting evicted, finding a room to rent, move your stuff into storage, looking at your baby girl going, this is going to be okay. We're going to share a room for a while. I mean, shit was bad. It was really bad. I mean, if I saw fear in the face, and I kicked its ass. So, you know, I know what the pit looks like. My strongest suggestion is to not hang out there. Don't decorate it. Don't write your name on the wall. Don't make any graffiti. Get the fuck out as fast as possible.
Yeah, I love that. And something you tapped on, too, I just want to make a note of, is, and Napoleon Hill refers to this in Outwitting the Devil. There's two sides of you. There's the side that operates out of fear and the side that operates out of faith. And when your back's against the wall, and it's like when people only go see fear and they go, oh, I can't because, and oh, what if, they stay in their fucking shit and they stay in their fear. When you're in that space you were at, you're like, my back's against the wall, all I know is I get to kick ass and I get to create and I get to make this happen. That is operating out of faith. And that, when you tap into that self-worth, so like, I got no other options and all I'm choosing is this, there's no backup plan. That's like the most powerful kick-ass thing that comes from you to go, when you choose to focus on that and move forward in that space. But most people will opt out. And so I applaud you for that, girl, that you're like, I mean, I know, to look at your kids, I remember having $10 to my name and being like, you got it. You're like, I get to provide for my baby girl. I get to do this.
Right, exactly. I was sitting next to homeless people getting food stamps.
Oh, wow.
Now, if you don't know how to kick your ego to the curb, that will do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't belong here. I don't belong here. This is too uncomfortable. You know, and of course, you know, it was very short time before I got back on my feet again, like literally just a few months. Mm-hmm. But, you know, don't get comfortable in that victim mindset that, oh, poor me, the whole wide world is against me, wham, wham, boo-hoo. I mean, I had to look at this gorgeous girl, you know, my beautiful daughter.
Oh,
that's my why.
She is beautiful.
You know, I mean, I had to wake up and look at her and go, why are we sharing a room, Mom? It's just temporary. When will I get my stuff out of storage, Mom? You know, and that kind of stuff. So 6 months later, you're moving into a house, you're pulling your stuff out again, you're crying because you're back into that mode again, and things just started to happen super fast for me. It was like I'm bulletproof now, you know? It's kind of like, what else? Bring it, you know? Fuck it. Just bring it on. In fact, I encourage my clients to do kind of a challenge I did for 18 months. Try something new every month, whether it's jumping off of the stratosphere, which I've done, or a skydive, or something that scares you. Pick a challenge every month and force yourself to do it. It definitely works in the professional environment. You do feel bulletproof. You're like, screw this.
And it's funny when you how that reflects, not just professionally but personally. So not even a month ago, so I was in like New York and Texas and Arizona. One of my actual mentors, we started a badass breakthrough adventure experience, and we did our first one in Havasupai just this last June, like, you know, right in between all these trips that I had. And we went to this, and our whole intention was we brought all these badasses together to make them face fear and do all these kind of crazy things and do a lot of processing and breaking down beliefs. And we went to this place to cliff jump, and I look up, literally like only a few people did it, because it was, I look up and I'm like, oh fuck, that scares me. I said, that means I get to do this. And I was talking to myself, and so I took off my stuff, went right up there to do it. And I talked to a girl the other day that she's like, she was in that badass breakthrough experience, and she was standing near me, and she said, ever since I saw you, I witnessed that, where I heard you say to yourself, oh fuck, that scares me. I guess I get to do this. And you went and did it. She's like, ever since that event, she's been like, every time I think something scares me or I feel uncomfortable, I go, oh, that means I get to do this. And it's so powerful when you actually break through that on any level, from, like you said, skydiving to whatever. Those things have been super powerful for me, like I did a canyon swing in New Zealand and skydived and did all this crazy stuff. And it's like, it makes you go, oh, wow, see, I can do these things. Like, and anything is possible. So that's such a key concept, is breaking through that fear.
Yep. Nobody died. We're good. Let's go on, you know?
You know what I think? I'm like, I'm living an awesome life. If I die, I die. I must move on. But I think I got a pretty damn big purpose, so I'm pretty, I'm pretty secure in the fact that I'm going to live.
Yeah, that's true. They're like, no, you got work to do, girl. You're not checking out yet.
You go jump off that plane. You'll be okay. You've got a lot of other people to affect.
That's true. Now, mine was a river rafting experience. I was terrified of whitewater rafting, so I hired a coach to kick my ass, to get my ass on that raft.
Yay.
And I did a Category 4 half-day trip, and I'm like, okay, worst case scenario, I die. Okay, I'm cool with that. Like, worst case scenario, it flips over, I'm trapped, and I die. Okay, we're still cool with dying. It's okay.
Yeah, there you
But
go.
just focus on the happy stuff. You know, I just wanted to feel like, damn, I did it. You know, I just wanted that feeling. I tackled it. And I went back the next summer, I mean, I'm hooked now. So, you know, it's just that stupid shit in our head.
Yeah. Something's very real. Or I like it better said, fuck everything and run.
Yeah.
That's my favorite analogy of fear.
That's right. That's right.
So how has this, I mean, because your gift and what you really do is like leading people through this to design their life. Like so you saying you take people from a place of like, they've gone through shit to going, I want a business, and how to lead them into directing that. Right? So how do you teach them to take, because from what I understand about you is like how resistance really shows up and it affects your life in all ways, and then how to take that as self-empowerment like you're talking about and lead it into now is it taking your mess and making it your message?
I love that. You know, when I was in my mess, my mom kept saying, Carrie, I don't know what to tell you. You're just going through your schooling period.
Oh, that's a good way to put it, Mom.
It's like, well, this sucks. This isn't fun. But I'll definitely be able to relate to others later, which, you know, connection is everything. So, you know, the little prim and perfect pastor's kid in the Midwest, got married young, you know, did everything she was supposed to, got the career and so on. Wasn't as relatable. No one relates to perfectionism, but they see you're real and you've got that connection. You know, I don't believe in just hiring someone to work with you unless they've actually walked through the fire themselves. It's so much more credible. You know, it's like, I've been there, I know what it looks like, and I'm going to tell you what to experience and what it's going to feel like on the other side, and I will push your ass all the way through.
I can't tell you how many bullshit coaches I see that there's people that are just like, I don't know what I want to do with my life, and the next second they're a life coach or a success coach, and they've never been through shit, and they've never created, you know, they don't even have a dime to their name, but they're teaching people how to make money, and I'm just like, if someone does not have the fucking results that you want, then don't listen to them. It's unsolicited, unqualified advice.
Exactly. They read a book somewhere, you know, and it's
that's right. Oh, no. I've done 5,000 plus hours of book reading, although I haven't created shit. Unless I created shit, it doesn't matter. There you go.
Exactly.
It's validated that you've been through shit and you've created shit, so we're going to listen.
It's just like you and that Rockin Body that you have.
Oh, thank you.
I see your before pictures, so, I mean, you've got to, it's like, I was there, I know what it looks like, feels like to wake up like that every day, and this is what I look like now, I can do it, you know, that's your story. You know, and that's how I encourage women, like, I've been there, I know what it's like to want that Rocky Road ice cream at 10 o'clock at night, I know.
Put down the ice cream.
That's right.
Focus in. What feeling are you wanting, and how do you give yourself that feeling? That's the key. It has nothing to do with the food.
That's right. You're filling a void. Let's find that void and fill it with something better. Yeah, absolutely. Very cool. But yeah, what I do with people, you know, really the mistake I find with people is they're not really finding who they are first before they jump into ownership, business ownership. And that's kind of the first mistake they'll do is, I don't know what I want to do. I really don't know myself. I don't know what my hobbies. And they kind of are looking around, like you said, what's popular, what's somebody else doing. Maybe that's what I want to do.
Money instead of what's really within them. You find that a lot?
Well, what happened, and then what happens is, like, I was at a networking event yesterday, and this guy gets up front, and he's like, well, my company fixes computers and stuff, and he's really not excited to talk about what his company excited about it. I know. The next girl gets up, and she's like, I am the personal assistant for all these people, and I'm their stay-at-home wife, and I'm this, and I'm that, and she's excited, and she loves what she does. She found her niche, you know? That's what I look for, is I want to see passion and excitement, not, well, I make this much money and it's really cool and stuff. And, you know, that's not passion. So, you know, I look for that ignitement. So the key thing really is the first step before business ownership is you just need to find who you are. I mean, literally, I don't mean go on a mountain like behind you and meditate. I mean, seriously, that works.
I meditate in the mountains all the time. I love it.
That works. I'm all about that.
That's one source.
Yes. Get grounded and meditate, yes. But more importantly, I mean, there's so many wonderful personality tests out there to really understand who you are, find out where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are quick. The sooner you find that shit out, the quicker you can fill in the gap where you're weak. You know, like, for example, I like to pick on myself a lot. I suck at details. The first thing I did was hire a personal assistant or a virtual assistant.
I have 3 assistants, and I do not know what I do without them. Like, give me the options, I'll make the decision, and we'll move. But you do all the fact finding and give me the details. Yep, you got it, girl.
That's right. That's right. Don't make me look at code. I don't care how it works. Just tell me when the lights and camera and crew show up. You know, it's like I'm the actress on the stage.
Don't you find, so you tapped onto something else, which is a key concept I believe in, which is the quality of life that you're living is based on the quality of questions you ask yourself. And what I find is most women, when they get in my program, or most people when they get in my program, it's like they don't know who they are, like you said. But it's because when we've started at a young age, for you, pastor, you know, family, that I should do this, it has to look this way, we become the identity of what we think we have to be accepted, validated, and loved. So then we do that for so many years. We really don't know who we are. We really don't know what we love. It wasn't until I got divorced, finding out I had a cheating husband, getting divorced, having a 1 and a 4-year-old at the time, I was like, what do I want to, who am I? Who am I? Like, I was like, well, I used to love the mountains, and I'd been hiking once in 7 years with my husband. Because, like, it, you know, and so it's like I hadn't done anything that I love to do, because what did I become? The mom who took care of everybody else. So I think most people are in this space where they don't, when they finally go, well, I don't know who I am, and they feel like, I'm like, it's okay. It's just because you haven't asked yourself questions. How cool is it that now you get to find out who you are? So asking, you're saying there's personality tests, there's all these things, but I think it's just learning to ask questions instead of, in life, we have these thoughts and we're trying to conform to how society says it has to be and what it should look like. It has to be a certain way, instead of going, well, what would I like it to look like? Like for me, I had to drop stories of what it looks like to be a mom and live my passion and purpose. And my old beliefs would have been like, no, you got to stay at home with your kids 24/7, and this is how it looks. And then all I do is teach my kids the same thing, that they got to sacrifice their life to take care of everybody else and make everybody else happy. And we're all fucking miserable. How fun is that? So asking questions, I love that you, so I mean, do you have this, you suggest for people to go through some sort of identity test or personality test and find out who they are and how they operate? But I think on a bigger scale, just people in general, ask yourself questions to find out who you really are. Is that really how it is for you too?
Yeah, and I'm like, what are your hobbies? What things make your heart sing? What do you feel that's just so much fun and you could do it all day? If you could get paid for it, how would you do it? Like my sister, I'd like to pick on her. She goes into interior design. My baby sister loves to decorate. She can only decorate her house so much. I mean, literally, like, you ran out of square footage. Stop.
Yeah.
Like, stop painting your bedroom, okay? Stop. So, so she's turning into a business, and I'm like, finally, you're doing what your heart's desires. You love it. I mean, she originally was a hairdresser, and she thought that was what she was supposed to do, you know, a beautician, and she just doesn't love it. So now she's on doing something that's fun and exciting, you know, and that's exactly what I do, is I match it with their natural skill set. Everyone's got gifts, they just don't realize it or haven't uncovered them yet. And then how can we make it into a business? I mean, nothing's more exciting than that for me.
So you lead them into asking questions to find the solution. Because, and I mean, it's a genius. I got to say, having a coach and a mentor that just allows you to look outside your box to a different perception. Yesterday I was on, so in the last probably 4 to 5 months, I've spent probably $150,000 on my business coaches. Like, all of them are $30,000 to $100,000 coaches, and that's why they hold me fucking accountable. That's why I create the shit that I create, because I've invested a whole lot in myself, in learning those things, and so that's huge. But even yesterday, in my call with one of my coaches, I mean, we had like a 10-15-minute update call because I had so much going on, and he simply made one suggestion that literally is going to be a $100,000 a month thing for me. I was like, genius. Yes, I can create that right now. So sometimes, like even if they haven't been trained in asking themselves questions or finding who they are, and you're like leading them down this process, like, okay, I like all these things, now what do I do? And someone outside the box has been trained in this, because I've seen this even with, you know, I've had some people that I coach on business as well as through my goddess program, and I'm like, have you thought about this? And they're like, and it matches up perfectly, and they would have never even thought of it. So I just want to put out there for people, someone like Carrie that can go, guess what? Okay, you love this, and this. These are so many options, like, you know, ways that you can make things work for your time versus the thought process we've had, which is trade our time for dollars and go with the job. It's like, if you have a gift to give and a passion or a journey to show people a certain freedom, even now with virtual stuff, like the fact that we're doing a TV show and you're in your house in Vegas and I'm in the freaking gorgeous mountains here, it's like I went from running groups in the gyms and doing my mind-body breakthrough process to, you know, doing some hands-on experiences to now it's like I have masterminds that run with people all over the world and personal clients all over the world because we have the ability to do that. And sometimes if we don't think outside the box, even for people to say, guess what, run a mastermind, have a group of individuals that you lead through this process or your coaches or whatever, and literally you can still be a mom at home. I mean, my kids are hanging out right inside the condo place we're staying, and I'm on a TV show. And it's like, there's so many possibilities. So with that, I want to say if you guys are looking to have this assistance, what Karie does, because she's so genius at it, is definitely go check her out. And Karie, I'm just going to make sure I spell this right for everybody because it's the best place for them to connect with you and follow you and find out about all the stuff you have, because I know you've got like a business academy and you've got all sorts of good stuff, is KarieMillspaugh.com. I'm going to spell it. You know, it's like my real name, Karie. Like, nobody can pronounce my real name. That's why it's blocked. It's actually like a TV name. Okay, so Karie, it's KarieMillspaugh.com. So that's the best place they can find out what's going on with you and all the different cool stuff you have, right?
Yes, you got it, girl.
Awesomeness. Also, you guys, make sure you get the Marci Lock app to be able to replay this stuff, all these good nuggets all over and over and over again, and all the awesome fun stuff that we have on there at marcilockapp.com, and go to mindbody90.com to get the free video series, or also be able to apply for the Mind Body Breakthrough or my Goddess Revolution experience, which is totally for goddesses who are badass, because you know I attract cool women like this. So Karie, jump back in with us. Tell us how this really became. You said you asked yourself questions. You went from this is how life should look to finding who you are to finding your passion. What really made you realize you had a passion for like leading others to business? How did that come about for you?
Well, it is a journey. It's not something you wake up obviously overnight with all your answers and you just go. I mean, you know, you're not going to get clarity sitting still. You need to move forward. So the key thing was first it was I need to help people. I mean, when I first got introduced to natural health, I'm like, holy shit, I can help people with just natural health supplements and taking ailments away. That was my first aha moment back in 2004, 2005. So I'm like, okay, I've got to tell everybody that they can get healthy. You know, nobody has to hurt anymore. This anguish and disease doesn't have to exist in your body. I felt like a superhero. You know, I got my little superhero cape on and was going to go save the world. But I played small. I just did my community in Michigan. I just kind of traveled around churches and other mom groups, teaching them how to feed their kids, take care of their families. Then it kind of evolved into, I came to Vegas. I started working with a very successful entrepreneur here. He's the founder of an enormous business coaching firm in 51 countries. And I started to see all the mistakes I'd done in my past businesses. I was like, oh, there's a purpose for this shit. Business coaching, huh? What an idea.
Yep.
So, you know, and it kind of clued me in, and I saw, you know, God, I wish I would have known this stuff years ago. It just kept doing that aha moment. If I could have told myself 5 years ago about this. So getting immersed into that, I started to see what people do that fail, see what, you know, how coaches in general, they don't have a good platform beneath them of the practice. They'll just burn out. They're chasing clients. They're all over the place. They have what I call SOS, shiny object syndrome.
Love it.
They're not matching.
They're out of lack and scarcity mode. Oh, I need this money so bad. I need this person. All they really do is push it away.
Yes. Yes. They're freaking out. They're trying to jump into bed with their clients on the first date, and they're just all over it. That's what I call slimy sales. And you're like, oh, hi, do you want to work with me?
Sure.
And I was like, no.
You can have a date with me if you buy my product.
That's right.
I gotta admit, I'm sure I had that moment too at one point in my life.
Right. Work with me. Just anything. Please, please. And again, it's a scarcity mindset. You're right. It's so abundant. And when people realize how abundant it is, it's like, shocking. There's enough to go around, guys. There really is.
Yep. It's like air. It's like air, Karie. Money is like air. If you hold your breath, I don't struggle to breathe. You're just going to hold your breath.
I love that. Let's try it.
That's my philosophy for money. It's like there's so much everywhere, and that's literally how it is, but most people see it in such a different mindset. But it's just like air. There's so much. When you get that, it's like there's plenty for everybody.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. That's when everything shifts. So, which is what I named my company, Abundant Living by KLM. So totally that's the mindset we have here. So, you know, clearly I evolved into seeing how other health coaches do their businesses. A lot of them were trying to do what they think they should do. Again, they're not living in their authenticity. You know, I'm going to use a great example of one I adore. She's in the Midwest. She really, really loves to create fermented foods and heal your gut. She doesn't want to do the traditional health coaching mindset. She wants to work on healing people and creating these foods. And I'm like, girl, you need to make a cookbook. You need to get a how-to book out there, not just sell the stuff in a farmer's market, but play bigger. And I really hope she does do that exact thing. But that's what I like to do, is take this umbrella of health coaching or whatever business it is and then make it into a niche so you're not competing on price point. And you really are working with your skill set. And again, she kept getting drawn to this. I need to do this. I need to do this. It was her gift. It was her skill set. So now she'll just soar, and she's so happy. You know, she's so much more happier. You know, just yay.
When you're happy doing what you do, that's when you're a creator. That's when literally when you're loving what you do and you have that vibrational energy, feeling good. That's when the people show up that want exactly what you give, and like it just flows. But when you're miserable and you're like, this is what I do for money, like it's shit. So, I mean, doesn't it all come down to, again, what did I start off this show with? Is that if you're not experiencing awesomeness, what the hell is the point, right?
Exactly. Oh, yeah, life is. I know, and that's why I evolved into. I'm like, I have to tell everybody else about this. These women out there are working for people. What the hell are you doing? Girl, go out there and get your own business. Right. And you know, statistically, reality, you know, they're just not creating jobs like they used to. More and more people are getting pushed into self-employment. They're realizing that their destiny is in someone else's hands. Any day they could get that pink slip or get laid off. And that's, again, a fear and scarcity kind of mindset too. But when you have, you know, literally that wheel in your hand and you're the driver now, it's a whole different kind of empowerment. And that's our reality now. It's like, it's so easy to get, thanks to technology, like you mentioned before, so easy to get into business for yourself. Find what makes your heart sing, and then find a coach to make sure you get there properly.
There you go. I think that's the biggest key, don't you think? Like, to just jump into something and have no idea how to make it. It's like you're trying to recreate the wheel when there's people that literally can guide you. For me to have the experience I've had, after with being a waitress, it was only a couple months I was a waitress. Within a year, I was on TV. I was doing my 90-day mind body transformation program. But I highly accredit it to. I was like, okay, I don't want this. Who do I learn from to move forward? And Garrett White was my first coach, the master coach mentor that runs the Warrior program for men, and I'm the only woman that's gone through that program. But it's like I've had the most badass coaches that taught me how to get there, and the same people that I see just beating their head against the wall, but they refuse to invest in themselves to get a coach, and so they stay in the same place of beating their head against the wall. And it's like, well, what do you want? Because until you're worth that investment, and this is what I think is funny, Carrie, is if you're not even willing to invest in yourself, to say, I'm worth the investment, I'm worth my life experience being the investment, how can you possibly think that you're worth creating money, that money's going to flow into your life, or great relationships, or anything? It's like against the laws of the universe. You're literally speaking at a core, I'm not worth it, so everything will reflect that. Like you said, everything that shows up externally is from what's going on internally.
Yes, very true. I have 2 coaches, sometimes 3. I mean, I'm a mess. I'm kidding.
Right now.
Okay, you win.
I know. Right? Yeah.
I mean, all coaches have coaches if they're a smart coach.
Most like, when can you talk? And I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, when can I just even update? I have 6 freaking coaches a week. Yeah, it's a lot. Good
oh,
stuff.
Wow. That's right. Can we just do a giant conference call and get everybody together?
Yeah, hey, good idea. Your turn. Feedback.
That's right.
Tell me what I get to do. Awesome.
That's right. No, that's good. No, I love that. I mean, the world of coaching is so different. I mean, 10 years ago when I started it, people were like, what the hell do you do? Now it's like, you don't have a coach? What's wrong with you?
I love it. Well, that's smart. It's true. So what do you feel like is the biggest nuggets you teach people in starting this process? Obviously, it sounds like questioning, finding their niche. What are some of the other pitfalls that you think people fall into, especially women starting off, where you're telling them, you can do this, you can take your passion purpose, and there's people out there that want what you want. Actually, guess what I saw the other day? Somehow it came into my space, I don't even remember how, but a lady who charges like $60 an hour or a half an hour or something to cuddle. Like, like I guess these guys or anyone would have her meet him at the park and just lay on a blanket like a picnic and cuddle. Like they were. I was like, wow, you really seriously can do anything for money. And it was just like she was a professional cuddler. She just
Wow.
You feeling lonely, you want to cuddle, you can pay me to cuddle with you. I was like, wow. But that's the thing. You can there's whatever you offer, someone is looking for that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
In where you see people go, what are some of the pitfalls that you see most people make that stops them or sabotages their success?
Well, again, get to know yourself well. Get comfortable with looking in the mirror because, I mean, literally, business ownership is the most intense and the most intimate relationship you'll ever have with yourself. So get really used to looking in the mirror and owning your shit.
Nice.
The sooner you do that, the better, because, again, it's all your fault if it doesn't go right. So a little ownership there. The second pitfall I see is they've got this great idea, they start their business, and then they start to listen to all the stupid voices around them and the opinions of others. And they're like, oh, but you should do this, or who are you to say you're this, or you're not qualified, and then they get that self-doubt, and who am I to be brilliant kind of shows up. And that's when I'm like, all right, it's time to create a new inner circle. We're going to weed out some of your friends. Clean house. And it's not that you have to, and some of them are your family members, and it's not that you have to cut ties with all of these people, but get them at arm's length. Get them where, you start to create, and like you mentioned right in the beginning, was seeing that it's possible. You start to build who you want to become like around you, so you can see this influence and that it is a reality, instead of the negative naysayers and the risk-adverse type of personalities, or those that's their fear showing up when they start to beat up on your dream. That's their own inner conflict, and just to let it go. And I teach them just how to weed out those people in their life. Again, re-surround yourself with a better inner circle and get the support you need. Anyone in business ownership, if they've got that constantly wearing on their person. So that's a big pitfall. Gosh.
Huge. And I see so many people deal with that. It's like, and I just want to add to this. Okay, so 99% of the population, there's three types of people in the world. There's spectators, there's participants, and there's creators. Most people are spectators. There's a few that are participants, but there's only 1% that are creators. The 1% that create things, the other 99% of our society lives off of our epic shit. Okay, so they utilize our creations. So 99% are literally like, wait, you're crazy to think that you can do anything other than go get a job and to think outside the box. And so this is like the biggest thing for people. They're like, well, but so-and-so says this, and who am I really to do this? And it's like, okay, do you want their results? That's all it really comes down to is, are you listening, the people you're listening to, do they have the results that you want? Are they living an awesome life, the life that you want? If not, don't listen to them. And I think that's bigger than you can really put emphasis on, is that unless someone is living the life you want, there's no reason to listen to them.
Yep,
you get to choose what you want to experience as your life. And I think this is hard with family and stuff. It's like, well, you get to detach. That's okay. And what I see it as is they're in their perfect place, and they're seeing life through their perception, their lens, which is totally okay for them. That's what they're choosing for their life. If they want to choose to work a job and go through the motions and all that, that is totally their right. It's their right, and I have no right to judge that either. It's like when we drop the stories that anything is good, bad, wrong, right, this or that, has to look a certain way, and there's no box there. Life just is, and each thing in front of us is just feedback and is just our experience. Then I can be like, that's okay that they choose to see that, but I don't have to attach to it that it's right for me. How can we think? And this is what's crazy: is how can we think that there's a certain path that works for all of us when every single one of us is extremely different? Even if you and I are in the same experience, we both have different experiences based on our perception that we see life through, our belief systems, all these things. We each have 37.2 trillion cells that are unique. So we're all extremely unique. There's no fucking way what's perfect for me can be perfect for you or everybody else. So can we just drop that story right now?
Amen. Yes. That's right.
We should say A to the woman.
That's right. A to the woman.
A to the goddess. All right, I just had to go off on that. I see that all the time. So
I know.
As a pitfall that people get to bypass what they hear from other people.
Right.
So what's the next one?
Plug another book. Turning pro.
Tap your inner power. What?
Can you see it?
Okay, I haven't read that one.
Yes. It's like separating the amateurs from the pros, and pros don't listen to the opinion of sheep. We don't kind of listen to that type of
Lions don't listen to, yep. Oh, and lions don't flop swats. That's another, or swat flies. That's another one. Yes.
Exactly. So just keep your why close to you and keep moving forward. And if you don't, honestly, I have my pictures of my daughter really is my why. And I'm showing her that mom can do anything. Mom is unstoppable. She's been through the crap with me. She's seen, the journey. And I talked to her on the phone. She's in Michigan for the summer with her father. And I talked to her on the phone. I'm like, okay, mom's going to hire a nanny for the school year. And she's like, okay, mom, tell me what you wrote on the ad. Did you write, who wants to watch a famous person's daughter? And I'm like, famous person? My kid thinks I'm a celebrity. Yes.
So great. You're her hero. That's awesome.
That's right. And she's only 10, and I know it's only going to last for so long, but, hey.
Whatever. You'll always be her hero.
That's awesome. Right. That's right. And that's what you want. You want to leave the legacy. You want to show that pattern. Again, like my dad, anyone else 36 out of his 40 years of work, and showing me. He didn't just build a church, he built the church. Literally, he's a carpenter and built the building too. I mean, you can't make it.
Like, I'm serious about this. No one puts a stone unless it's me or a block of wood. This is my church.
That's right.
That's intense. Go Dad.
That's right. I watched him build it on faith, donations, just stuff showed up. And, again, kids watch you. Your actions are everything. So I keep my why all around me. When the days are really bad, I'm like, oh, that's right. I promised her this, this, and this. I'm going to do it because I can't let her down. It's because we'll let ourselves down more than others most of the time. Yeah. So you got to keep that why and that burning desire around you on the crappy days. Some days are really hard. So that's the key thing. Another mistake I see is, again, and we touched a little bit about this, is not having a strategy, not having a game plan. Jumping all around again, the SOS, the shiny object syndrome. Not having a clear strategy and mastering one thing at a time in your business is key. You just really, it looks so easy on the outside. We could all be looking at Marci like, oh, how does she do it? And here she is. She's cold now. She put her jacket on. But
I was like, I'm a little chilly in the little bikini.
Getting breezy. It's all good. Cover up if you have to.
I'll take it off the end one more time.
That's right. But the key thing is you just stick to a strategy. And again, work with somebody that's already been there, knows what it looks like, feels like, smells like, and stick to it. Be consistent and persistent. And again, one thing at a time, master it, and have lots of streams of income in your business. One thing that I see all the time is people do is they're counting on this one stream and this one lead generation for marketing, and they're completely screwed if something changes. God forbid we just depend on our email databases, because what if all of a sudden all these spam laws show up? We're screwed, and we just built this database for nothing. And, and I speak with, because that's obviously a platform I use in online marketing, but there's a lot of other ways. You'll see me lately. I've been really plugging into my community and getting back out into Vegas and connecting with people again too. And you have to have all those marketing leads and lead sources around you, obviously, in streams of income. I always pick 3 major streams of income with new clients, and then we master those. So they're constantly funneling in income for them. That's what makes a business owner happy, when they're making money. They see shit working. They're happy. They're on fire. They're on purpose. Stuff is happening. And again, it goes back to, it all looks pretty on the outside. When I have a client in front of me, if they don't have a coach, they may not notice this. They'll do really, really great with marketing. They have all these leads, they have all these calls booked, but they can't close anyone into a client to save their life. So the sales part, we just need to tweak it, and I work with them one-on-one as much as possible, and role-playing and getting past that little jump zone and then getting into a client mode. Now they've got a great book of business. What would happen without a coach? What was that?
If you can't create leads and you can't close leads, your business is screwed.
Exactly.
I mean, one of my business coaches told me, he's like, there's 2 people that are irreplaceable in a business. It's the person who makes the leads and the person who closes them. Like, so if you're in that state where, again, and I think there's tons of people, especially that disconnect with the actual process of sales. For me, it's like, I saw it as, I had to shift it from like sales that I didn't like, from all those past thoughts of like, ooh, sales and right, to if I don't assist these people to step through their bullshit and be inspired to take action on their lives, and they're not in my program, I can't create that change for them. I can't lead them down that path. And so it's like, am I going to fight for them to save their life? Because right now they've got foggy glasses on, you know, and it's shifting that perception to just like really now conversations for people that get into my program. It's just about, it's literally a value creation. It's just like, oh, I get to have a conversation with somebody and see where they're at in their life. And what I do is take people from where they're at to where they want to be. And so I just get to find out what's going on and how we can assist them. And that's all it really is.
Yeah.
But when you break down all the other shit, then that's possible.
Right. It isn't slimy. I mean, I've always told coaches you're really kind of coaching people into coaching. You're not selling anything. It's not smoke and mirrors. It's just seeing if they're open-minded to actually even working with you. It's really to find out if they're in a good space.
Only smoke and mirrors if they're doing that whole, I'll date you if you
That's right.
Right? We clarified that already.
The slimy sales. Hey, I'm in Vegas, so anything's possible in Vegas.
So there's a few of those.
That's right. No, it's interesting though. But if a person doesn't have a coach and they are marketing, and nothing is happening, they're not getting any clients and they're not selling, they'll say, this shit don't work, I'm done. And that's when they burn out and go, this stuff doesn't work. They're lying, it doesn't work. But they just didn't have somebody to, go, time out, let's walk through the fire together and get clear on what's tripping you up.
Yeah.
And that's the strategy part and having a game plan and why a coach is so important. Because you'll burn out. You're not making any money, you're going to burn out. So we need to find out what's the missing link and get it fixed fast. But yeah, I'm like you. My coach said to me last year, and I actually cried. I was like, how dare I? She said something about, how dare you not practice on what you suck at? Because there's people out there that need your services right now. And you are investing in yourself to be better so that you can help another person. And I was like, oh my God, no, that would be me. And if she wasn't good at what she did, I wouldn't be here today. And
Totally. Oh, that's awesome. That's huge.
Yeah, so there's people out there that need you. Get off your ass and work on yourself.
It's just feedback. It's when we attach it as failure. Failure is just stopping, I think.
Right.
I think the only way you can ever fail is if you choose to stop and not move forward. But if you're always like taking in the feedback and you're just moving a little bit at a time, like you said, a moment at a time and an inch at a time, there is no such thing as failure because it's just feedback to move forward. So I love that. That is a great little nugget right there. Nugget.
Yes, it's good stuff. But more importantly, it's just we live and learn, and I think when you learn something, it's your job to go share it, and just when you learn something that works, go share it, go tell your story, get out there, play bigger, stop hiding. And it is such a journey. I look back in the last 10 years of the silly shit I've gone through, and those moments where it was like accelerated growth, then it was resistance, then accelerated growth again. And I mean, it's fun, and I'm not done growing. Trust me, I'm a huge work in progress by all means.
Resistance to comfort zone, like you just said, accelerated growth, resistance, accelerated growth. Like, this is what happens when we're ready to go through that next comfort zone. Is we hit the shit shows up, so that it's like I always see it as the universe is literally like, wait a minute, you've always declared that life is shitty and it's hard and money's hard and all this, and now you want this, and it's like how you respond to the resistance is you declaring what you want to experience. If you say, oh, yep, it doesn't work, this won't work, I can't have this, and it's like, okay, yep, that's what I thought. That's what I thought you wanted because that's how you've always acted, and that's the identity you've lived in and who you've been. But as you go, okay, awesome, what else do I get to try? And oh, this is just shit showing up, so I get to move through this. Then you catapult into that next comfort zone, and then you just said it's going to show up again. But I love this, that pain is part of our process. If we didn't have pain showing up, we wouldn't look within to go, whoa, what else do I get to do? How do I get to make some changes to create better? Pain literally is a gift for us to look at to move forward, and yet most people see it as like, oh, pain means shit, means we validate, see it as, oh, this means I can't have it, and we stop. And so many people stop, like you said, instead of just going, oh, this just is one other way I don't get to do this, what else do I get to do? That becomes the person that they are. I love that, Carrie. That's awesome.
Yep.
And you teach a lot. Don't you say that a lot? One of the main things that you also teach is self-love. Why is that a big part of? We tapped on it a little bit earlier when we talked about worth. Like, if you're not worth investing in yourself, you're not worth creating that. How can you expect that you're worth money or anything else? But why do you make such a big issue out of self-love?
It goes back to the health coaching. It started there, and putting yourself high up enough that you're worthy of better foods, you know, and I've teach women with this forever, because that's what trained me, was like, no, I'm not going to eat this. This is beneath me. You know, this shouldn't go in my body. It's beneath me. I'm on a higher shelf than this donut or whatever the case may be. Or I'm not going to put this in my body because I'm worthy of better.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is, it's not self-worth and self-love isn't just buying your favorite shoes or having retail therapy days, which I love, but there's more to it than that.
I've never heard of it as that. Retail therapy days. Oh my, that's great.
You probably had them, you just didn't know there was a title.
I didn't. Now I'm informed.
So the key thing is it's setting boundaries is really what self-love is. It's saying, no, I'm not going to that party tonight because I know in the morning I will feel like garbage and I have a very important meeting with my business or something that's important to me. It's saying no to that relationship or that date because the guy really doesn't meet the standards you really want or are looking for in a mate. It's just keeping yourself protected. It's just learning boundaries. I'm worthy of better. You know, I deserve better. It's not just going and getting a massage. Yes, I love self-love time. And I believe your actions are showing the universe what you want more of, and you have to be really accountable to that. Yeah. And yes, I'll take days and just completely unplug. I'm sorry to all the friends and the millions of texts and messages that show up. But it's pamper time, and I'm going to go to the spa, you know, or I'm going to go to Sedona and just chill for a couple of days. The key thing is again, you're showing your self-worth, and again, you're showing others. And I show my daughter this example. You know, this is what it's like. Mommy needs mommy time. Yep. And self-love and self-worth is everything. If you want people to treat you better, you have to treat yourself better first. Then the rest shows up, you know. So I talk about it with all of my women clients right from the get-go. We start with self-love because that's what's going to keep them from putting that shit in their grocery cart into the grocery store.
Not only the shit in the grocery cart, but Carrie, this key concept that you just talked about, when you believe you're worth it. When you believe you're worth it, that's when you can create and have everything else drawn to you, like the money, everything else. But even not just in like, okay, I'm worth, you very well, you clarified it differently than, oh, it's not just go to massage. It's not just buy myself some shoes. It's I'm worth feeling balanced. I'm worth taking care of me. I'm worthy of the people that I let into my space I'm worthy of the business connections that I have. I'm worthy of the food that I put into my system. And this speaking this, so even balance, and I see this as like a huge disconnect for women, is because most of us have been in perfectionist identity, which is take care of everyone else and do everything else, and so that we don't know what balance is. And I say, how can you think that just someday I'll live that awesome life. Someday I'm going to be balanced. When if you're not actually creating that to be your experience and accepting balance and creating balance as part of your life, there's always going to be another project. There's always going to be other shit showing up because this is your creation. So it starts with you even saying, I'm worthy of balance, peace, and flow. And in doing that, for me, I had to go from perfectionist identity crazy, where you talked about being up till 2 a.m. Like I used to, starting my business, it was like I was up till 2 a.m. and then I was back up at 5 to get my workout in before I got my boys up and all that stuff. And so then to shift that was like, I couldn't even imagine like taking 30 minutes for me or anything like that, or sitting down to a movie. It was like crazy to me. And once I started to put that balance into my schedule, I said, okay, I'm committed to, and I understood the concept of, I'm not going to create that different life until I take the actions to create it and do something different to get different results. And putting that into my schedule, the more I experienced, it was more like, I don't want to go back. This balancing is awesome. And then my life, it just got better and better and better and better. And one of my coaches says, the better it gets, the better it gets. Because that's the belief system, is that struggle's a choice. If you're choosing struggle, you're just choosing it. Just like you're not choosing money, you're not choosing epic relationship. It's just your choice of struggle. But I think you made it very different than just, it's not about going and getting a massage. It's self-love. Self-love is tapping into the truth of the divine gift that you are, the divine god or goddess. The divine goddess that you are is in full alignment to know I am worthy of absolute abundance in everything, and there is no settle.
Exactly.
There is nothing but abundance in every aspect. So I love that that's a big part of what you teach. Huge.
Yes, it's ground zero. You got to start there for things to happen. Because even in your business, you'll start charging less if you think you're worth less. Yep. I see coaches that are charging these little puny dollars, and I'm like, okay, we've got work to do. Let's go back to you're worth more. You know, and it's just You know, if I gotta, you know, they're not gonna make more money if they don't think they're worth more money. So I get stuck there too. So we push past it as fast as possible. And it's not something, again, you wake up overnight. It's a journey, you know, that self-worth. And as moms, we feel guilty, like, oh, I'm getting a sitter because I want a girls' night out. Oh, I feel so bad. My kids are texting me. You know, it's just that stupid guilt. You got to let it go. You're being a better mom because you actually took time for yourself.
Totally. That's huge. So just because we're running out of time, Carrie, if someone is in the space where they're in the pit, they're in the shit, maybe they're the mom who's hearing for the first time, oh, it's possible for me to be a mom, to live my passion and purpose, and to do something different or to make money. Like, if someone's totally in the shitter, what would you tell them? What's the greatest feedback you could give them, or you tell them on getting out of that and to starting a process to move forward?
Well, first and foremost, people like, you know, myself and Marci are proof that you can do it. Single motherhood, you know, is more common than ever before, and you will feel kind of like something's missing if you don't live your purpose. You know, and you'll feel like a little lost. Like, is this all it is diapers and dishes?
Hell no, I can't imagine.
That sucks. And do I have to really wait till they're 18 before I start living for me again? No, hell to the no. But the key thing is to, you know, I see so many stay-at-home moms creating their like network marketing little companies because their heart's telling them there's more to me than this. I'm more than dishes and mopping. So, you know, that's a start, and I see so many moms doing that. But more than anything, I think they can't do it is the problem. And I hope that people like myself and you are inspiring them that it is possible. And there's so many moms out there that barely work 20 hours a week and have a kick-ass business, you know, and they're making the money they never dreamt they could make. And you feel even more independent, and you're giving your kids a lifestyle they never dreamt they could. But the key thing is you, instead of wishing your life were easier, just wish you were better. You get stronger is the key. You know, just work on your skill set, get in systems, leverage off of other people. I have a nanny. I have a housekeeper. I just found who was going to be my personal assistant yesterday. You gotta leverage. You've got to leverage. There's meetup groups with other moms that are looking for, you know, to swap play dates. Do it. There's stuff all around you. Build a community, a tribe around you of support. And just live for your dreams. Don't wait. Don't wait. Oh, God, don't snap like I did and move all the way to Vegas to Sin City. Don't wait to piss off your parents.
For you, Carrie.
I know, right?
And you stopped modeling lingerie, so you're
no.
It's legit.
That was a while ago.
I'm still showing up in my bikini.
That's right.
I haven't let that go, apparently.
Whatever works for marketing. That's right.
We're gonna
whatever works for marketing, girl, work it.
Yeah, we're gonna leverage the shit out of this. Although I still think you got to go run and put on your bikini, so I can be like, hey, they're showing our bikinis. It was awesome. You're in your house.
That's right. I'm gonna go to the pool after this.
Awesome. I think on you touching base on that, or that last note, is that the thought that I had when you were expressing that is, you know, don't wait, just start now, and the thought that they can't do it and see that they can, and there's limitless possibilities. There's so many options. It's just starting. But the thought for me was this: it all comes down to really you're either going to choose, and you get to be okay with settle or move forward to have more of the life you want. Because as you're moving forward, what's funny is people think like the thoughts are the things that stop them from moving forward in their life. And a thought is just a thought. Sometimes we forget to question the thought. And we don't want to look at our fears. We don't want to look at our barriers because they think it's scary. But the funny thing is, not looking at them keeps you in your shit, and that's what's really scary. That's what really sucks, is staying in your comfort zone, because it's not really comfortable. When you look at this shit and you walk through it, you give yourself freedom. That's where the freedom comes, that life just gets easier and easier and greater and greater and better and better. So, like, moving forward gives you easier and happier. It's being in that place where you go, oh, I can't do it. That's really the shitty shitty place to play. But I think it comes down to this, where it's like, either say, I'm okay with settling. I'm okay with diapers and dishes and mopping floors for the rest of my life, or I want something greater. If I want something greater, it doesn't have to be this big, overwhelming, oh my gosh, well, it means I have to have this business plan, blah, 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 blah. It just means, okay, where do I start? What's the first step?
Right.
And that might be connecting with someone like Carrie that's a coach to say, okay, how do I find out what I really love, and how do I, or I do have passions, and there is something coming through me, and I want to do more than just be a mom, and I want to offer this gift. Where do I start? And you just start. You don't have to be great to start. I love that saying.
Yes.
You just have to start to be great. And I know I would be where I'm at if I didn't just move it a moment at a time. And Karie would be where she's at if she didn't move a moment at a time. So, Karie, thank you so much for being a part of this. And again, I want to give you guys to connect with Karie, because she does have a business program, obviously, super passionate about leading women through this process of finding that business and the niche and all the areas to do it, which, gosh, would have been phenomenal, babes. Like, such a gift to women, I think, which is so huge and inspiring to have a guide to take you down that process, so you're actually getting there and you're getting the results and you're finding that so much faster than beating your head against the wall. The greatest thing you can ever do for yourself is get a coach and a mentor that can lead you down that path. So again, go to KarieMillspaugh.com. I'm going to spell it, Karie, and I'm reading it just to make sure I always do it right. KarieMillspaugh.com. So go to KarieMillspaugh.com to follow her, to find out about her business academy and different things. Again, you can go to mindbody90.com to get the free video series, break through those lies limiting you, and get those kick-ass results in life, the rockin' body in life that you want, and also get the Marci Lock app to, again, be able to replay the show over and over, get all the past TV shows of influential people that are creating that space in life and giving that influence, as well as the radio shows and all the fun stuff there. Karie, any last thoughts you want to share with us today?
Don't put off anything.
You just want to swear one more time.
I do. Just fucking do it. Just fucking do it.
I love it. I so love women who will play with me at my level. Love it. You're a badass. Love it, Karie. Well, thank you so much for being here, sharing all your nuggets and sharing your inspiration, and just kicking ass, darling. Love the inspiration, love the guidance, and love someone actually doing it. So awesome. For all of you peeps that are joining us today, you can now take all these amazing nuggets that Karie gave, implement them into your life. Follow Karie. Jump on Facebook. Obviously, you do a lot on Facebook to lead and guide people. I know I do videos and stuff every day. So you definitely can just get moving. I'm going to end with saying this. Power of choice is yours. Choose your best life, and you know how to do it, Karie.
Lock it down.
That's right. Have a good day, guys.